The best of the best. Right across Australia. The best of the John Laws Week.
Another John Laws Week on the radio. You listen to the man with the golden microphone. You got it all. There were laughs, there was news and a tear or two. There were good vibrations coming right through to you. Through your radio. This is what he said. This is what he did. This is why you laughed. This is why you cried. This is how Lawsy kept you in the know. It happened this week on the John Laws Morning Show.
The leader of the National Party, as you know, and the Deputy Prime Minister is Mark Vaile, and he's come to visit. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, John. Good morning to your listeners.
Is John Howard the right man to be leading the government to the next election?
There's no question that John Howard is the right person to be leading the government. Sure, well, the government is going through a critical stage at this particular period of time. We have a number of months to go before there'll be a federal election later on this year. Against any test, in my view, the Prime Minister has done an outstanding job in leading our nation, both domestically at home and internationally.
You see John Howard and Peter Costello up close. What's it really like?
They're very, very professional in the way they go about the business of running Australia. I can assure all Australians that our cabinet process, our executive process, is run very, very professionally and in the interests of all Australians.
This is the best of the Lawsy Week.
Kevin Rudd, the leader of the opposition.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me on the program.
Latest news poll in the Australian newspaper says Peter Costello is a turn-off as a leader. So obviously you would much rather face John Howard.
I'm completely relaxed about what tactics the Liberals want to adopt. I think the truth is that they are in quite a degree of internal disarray at the moment.
So you see the government as being in disarray?
They are in disarray. You can't pretend that this is just a fine and dandy relationship between the Prime Minister and the Treasurer.
Does it really matter if a Prime Minister, not necessarily this one, but a Prime Minister and a Treasurer hate each other's guts? Does it really matter?
Most critically, John, it's this. If you vote for Mr Howard at the next election, is there now an internal deal or is there not for Mr Costello to take over 6 or 12 months later? If there is, why doesn't the Liberal Party just tell people so that we all know?
Shouldn't the people be voting for a party, not a person?
In your many years of broadcasting, you've covered more of us, more politicians than you could point a stick at. I think you know above all how much influence leaders have within their parties in the future direction of their policy. I don't think we can suggest that Mr Howard doesn't dominate the policy direction of the Liberal Party. He does.
It happened this week on the John Laws Morning Show.
Yes, that Lindsay Lohan person who's in trouble all over again. She's told Access Hollywood that she is innocent. Yeah. In other news from Hollywood, Danny DeVito's tall, Pamela Anderson is flat-chested, and Kevin Costner is popular. When they say you've got to make an album and you've got to call it the best of, you know, you've done something all right. That's exactly what my mate, I haven't seen him for a while, but he's still my mate, Troy Cassadaly, has done.
John, it's good to see you, mate.
It's very good to see you. Why have you kept away from me? Is there
no real reason. I've been up in very remote areas, mate. There's no phone service. I mean, they might have satellite phones up there now. We've just gotten back from the Gulf. To be able to see the country again and to go through as an older bloke now, you know, I look at my life and I went through it at 20.
You're so old.
I'm starting to get on, mate. But it was a pleasure to be able to have the freedom to put this collection together because, you know, there's songs from every part of my career are pretty well gone right back to there, John.
Yeah, so. I see. And you do biggest disappointment in the whole family that can you do a bit of that for me?
Absolutely. And the biggest disappointment in the family was me, the only twisted branch upon our good old family tree. I just couldn't be the person they expected me to be, and the biggest disappointment in the world was me. Now, listen, I suppose you've been wondering why I hadn't called in as well, because when we heard about the news of the retirement, I mean, everyone's been going, oh, you know, Lawsy's retiring. I mean, I've got to tell you, I was stunned by it as well. You've been really inspiring to me a lot. I've been able to tune into you even before I was making records, and hearing someone talk about our country with as much passion as you have, John, it means a whole heap. And on behalf of me and a lot of the country music industry as well, I know they would agree with what I'm saying. You're going to be one of those fellas that we're going to very, very much miss on our radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and that's very, very nice of you. I mightn't go now.
Why don't you just stay?
Might stay till April or...
Anyway.
Good to see you, Troy. Lots of luck with the CD. Troy Cassadaly, Born to Survive, the best of.
You're listening to the best of the Lawsy Week.
Two Australians, first and second in the US MotoGP Championships. Casey Stoner was one of those Aussies. He's the runaway leader of the world title this year. And the Australian who finished second behind Stoner is in the studio with me. His name is Chris Vermeulen. Good morning, Chris. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. How are you?
Fine. Welcome home too.
Yeah, thank you. It's a long season. We spent a lot of time overseas, and I'm home for 2 weeks now.
An Aussie 1-2 finish doesn't happen too often, does it?
No, they said the last time were the glory days with Mick Doohan and Darryl Beattie in 1995. Last time Australia won 2 in a Moto Grand Prix event. So it's great to be a part of the new generation.
Do you ever get frightened?
No, and I think if you ever did, you'd have to give it away. That'd be the time. So.
It must be a very exciting life. Dangerous but exciting.
I love it. Like I said before, I love riding bikes and I do it every day. And now it's my work, and I don't see it as work. I just get to ride the fastest motorbikes in the world every day and travel the world. We do 18 races right around the world. We race at Phillip Island every year, so it's a great sport.
Well, we'll wait for you, watch for you, and wish you luck.
Thanks very much, John.
Terrific to see you, Chris.
Lawsy in the morning.
There's a media circus on the front lawn of a house up on the Central Coast this morning, and it's all because of a shaggy dog. A lost shaggy dog. Rusty. Now, Rusty disappeared back in May. It's stolen when Shirley Lowry went to her local shop early in the morning. But he turned up this week in Darwin, more than 3,000 kilometres away, and now he's back home. Shirley's on the line. A happy Shirley, I imagine. Are you happy, Shirley?
Sure am, John. Yes, I am.
What a wonderful, wonderful story.
It is a lovely story, and I just thank everybody for just being so kind. He didn't look like my dog because he's so dirty and scruffy, but he's good now. He's home and he's wagging his tail and he's very happy.
Yeah, well, have you given him a tub?
Yes, he's had half of one, but he's full of ticks and fleas. Whoever's had him, they've just neglected him. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Oh, it is disgraceful. Aren't people just so thoughtless?
Oh, look, it's absolutely terrible because it just broke my heart, John. I've just, I'm an old lady and he's just my very best companion when hubby's at work, and I've just been so distressed. It's unbelievable that a dog can get you like this, but sorry, I'm getting a bit upset again. But
No, you're all right.
I just don't know how people can be so cruel to do that. There's plenty of dogs that need a home, but I wouldn't advise anybody, whoever took him, a dog to go to them people because they've just neglected him.
A lot of people are just thoughtless. They have no compassion and they have no idea of the loyalty that animals can show, whether it's a puppy dog or a bird or a pussycat or whatever it might be, and you'd get to love them, seriously love them.
Well, I do love him, and I'm just so glad he's back home. I'm a different person in even 6 hours since he's been home.
I'll bet you. I bet he's had plenty of cuddles too.
Oh, he has, and kisses.
Anyway, you've got him back, and I think it's wonderful, Shirley.
Oh, it's lovely. It's a lovely story, and I just urge people to get their dogs microchipped because, John, if he hadn't have been microchipped, I would never have seen this little fella again.
It's lovely to talk to you, Shirley, and I'll tell you what, Rusty is a very lucky boy to have a mama like you.
Oh, thank you very much, John, and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetie. Bye.
Bye. Isn't she adorable? Dean, good morning.
There was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that their star, John Laws, had just called it a day. Not because some mongrel had pinched his golden microphone, and not because his tonsils had lost their magic tone, but simply with the passing of so many fruitful years, filled with the satisfaction of so many cheers and beers. This was time to drop the curtain, to accept one last long accolade. Thanks, John. We'll miss the man who always calls a spade a spade.
This is what he said, this is what he did.